In country, a number of stakeholders, including government, non-government organizations, private sector and individuals, are promoting rainwater harvesting for different purposes using different water storage technologies. Rainwater harvesting is a good self-supply alternative with a lot of advantages, including access to safe water at the closest point of use. Owing to the fact that rainwater harvesting drive is supply-driven, questions about sustainability arise. Exploring the operation and maintenance practice of the existing rainwater harvesting facilities partly answers many questions relating to the sustainability issues. A number of rainwater harvesting facilities were visited and the experiences are shared in this video. Bamusuta Valley Tank in Bamusuta Village, Abdaika Parish, Kakoge Sub-County, is one of the well-maintained facilities. All the system components, including the solar-powered pump and elevated water reservoirs, are all intact and functioning well 6 years since its construction by the Ministry of Water and Environment in February 2016. At the time of construction, bylaws governing the facility were enacted and put on a billboard on a strategic position within the facility premises. These bylaws are up to date, followed by all water users. The facility is well enclosed, limiting any form of encroachment, and has a 24/7 security facilitated through the Water User Committee. Among other roles, the Water User Committee collects user fees equivalent to 2,000 Ugandan shillings per month from all users. This money is used to facilitate the caretaker and to cater for any form of repairs as need arises. Wantabia Valley Tank in Wantabia Village, Wampiti Parish in Wabinyonyi Sub-County provides another case scenario of a well-maintained valley tank. Constructed by Nakasongola District Local Government with support from Ministry of Water and Environment, the valley tank serves Wantabia, Zongo, Wampiti and Kizongo villages. Water from the valley tank is pumped manually using a fixed hand pump. Water users of this facility pay a monthly user fee of 2,000 Ugandan shillings each. Often, the hand pump breaks down and the Water Users Committee uses money collected from the water users to fix it.
Also, if the fence is down, maybe wire mesh is required or barbed wire. So that's the money community is used to replace those broken parts.
Another important point to note is that the tank receives a lot of silt, and part of this user fees collected is used to cater for desilting, which is done during the dry season. Laws governing the facility prohibit water users from allowing the cows to feed directly from the valley tank. To enforce this, a live fence was constructed around the valley tank. Anyone caught breaking the laws is suspended from using it. The suspension can be for a month or more depending. The Water Users Committee also mobilizes the community for general cleaning of the environment around the facility and is done at least once every year. Kachunyire Valley Tank in Kachunyire Village, Wampiti Parish, Wabinyonyi Sub-County, Nakasongola District, constructed in 2007, also provides a case of a well-maintained valley tank. One could point to the fact that this valley tank is owned by a private individual farmer, one PK, who keeps strict operation and maintenance practices. Though water abstraction from the valley tank is done manually, the feeding trap is positioned in a strategic position, which happens to be the shallowest point of the tank and the only allowable access point, meaning the cows cannot jump the feeding trap and enter the valley tank.
And as you can also see, he has tried also to fence it off such that it can reduce the number of cows or animals entering into the water, because that one also spoils the water and also adds a lot of silt in the water in the facility. So when it dries up sometimes, that's when they have a chance now to remove the silt, because as you see when it rains, this heap of soil keeps on running back into the facility. So when the water level goes down, sometimes they also come back and then desilt it, such that they can still increase on the volume of the water it captures.
Wabale Valley Dam in Wabale Village, Westward Parish, Nakasongola Town Council, constructed in 2004 by Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, is another case with very good operation and maintenance practices. The dam serves over 2,000 households and animals from 15 villages in Nakasongola Town Council and 5 from Wabinyonyi Sub-County. With that capacity, one would expect it to have operation and management challenges. On the contrary, the water users appreciate value and maintain their valley dam very well because it is the most reliable water source they have around, Nakasongola being a water-stressed district. Since its construction, this dam has never dried. The dam has a water users committee that oversees all operation and maintenance chores, including desilting, removal of vegetation, debris, cleaning of the outlet channel and inspection to monitor any spillway. Not all is rosy with valley tanks in Nakasongola district. Wabaye Valley Tank in Wabaye Village, Kiwimbi Parish, Rwampanga Sub-County, serving villages of Bwire, Wambale and Rwampanga, has serious operation and maintenance issues. The tank was constructed in 2016 by the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industries and Fisheries, but by 2021 the facility was partially abandoned. The caretaker absconded, solar panels were stolen, and the entire facility looks deserted. The sanitation facility and animal spray unit are all closed with bushes and having no signs of being in use. The facility was well intended besides being inclusive, but evidence on ground shows lack of community appreciation and ownership.
In terms of operational and maintenance, this facility, there is some user fee, whereby it was agreed by the community, the users, that every cow is charged 1,000 per month. But in most cases, this valley tank normally have more cows during dry spell. When it is rainy season like now, few animals come around because the water sources are around. They are always full and animals can get access to water anywhere, apart from this facility.
Another case to look at is the rock catchment rainwater harvesting system located at Kakizi, Lugagala Village, Butuntumla Parish, Butuntumla Sub-County, Luwero District. Based on the stories of the community, adequate mobilization and sensitization was done during construction of this water facility. However, the facility is currently partially abandoned. The community referred to it as a project that was brought by Amref Health Africa and saw it ended given that the organization ended its work in the area. From the community stories, what came out was that community members were active during the time of construction because Amref had promised to reward them with water jars at household level, which they actually did.
People are complicated. It's hard to understand what they need. They want a clean working facility, but they can't clean it. The elected users committee gradually lost morale and eventually abandoned their duties. Surprisingly, the community continues to collect water as long as it is there.
Another challenge identified with this facility was the encroachment on the rock catchment. Part of the rock was sold away and quarrying is taking place, which is a threat to the catchment area. It was also noted that one of the two reservoirs is leaking and hand pumps were vandalized by scrap collectors. Regardless of its deteriorating state, some community members still fetch water from this facility and only try other sources when this dries up. Because the catchment surface has reduced, the one storage tank still in use does not fill up and so dries up in less than 2 months when the rains stop. At household level, Margaret Lwanga of Kyangogolo Village, Kyangogolo Sub-County in Nabiswera County, has a very good story to share. She owns 2 ponds that use surface runoff and constructed using very low-cost technology using heavy-duty polythene. These ponds are susceptible to silting and drying up. However, Margaret is very passionate about her ponds because they are core in her farming that happens to be the family's source of income. She carries out periodic cleaning of the ponds as she narrates.
At times we collect water and realize it is mixed with soil. Then we know it needs cleaning. We empty the pond and clean the bottom of the pond by removing the soil and scrubbing it. Then we wait for the rain.
There are times when Margaret ponds dry up, especially during prolonged drought. When this happens, she gets water with the bowser and refills the pond and continues to be in business as usual. She is very happy, but not all her neighbors are happy for her. At one time, neighbors cut the polythene and she lost all the water. To resolve this and prevent similar incidences, in the dry season, even when she has bought the water, she allows her neighbors to come and fetch freely. Even rainwater harvesting facilities that collect water from the roof ought to be well maintained to offer the desired service. Many of these facilities, especially plastic tanks, burst and almost all of them leak if not well maintained. Besides, they can collect silt, crawling animals and many other impurities. Mayanja of Kakizi Lugagala village, Butuntumla parish, Butuntumla sub-county in Luwero district, who received the water jar from Amref Health Africa, shares the tricks he uses to protect his facility and ensure that it continues to serve the purpose.
I get 2 kilograms of cement, mix it with sand, and then use a brush to smear the mixture on the jar. I never allow it to dry up. I always leave some water because in the dry season it can easily crack. So the water helps to cool down the water jar even when temperatures are high.
Proscovia Nanteza of Kasiso village emphasizes the importance of good operation and maintenance of rainwater harvesting facilities using her own example.
It is my responsibility to know that the gutters carry debris together with water and that I need to place a net to sieve the water so that it flows into the tank without the debris. I don't have to wait for the donor. I don't even need to tell them the tap is broken. I repair the tap myself because it benefits me, not the donor.
Specific to corrugated iron tanks, these have a challenge of rusting, and this happens when the tank has stayed for a relatively longer period of time. The tank at Nakato Mary's home in Luwero district has been in place for over 30 years, and already parts of it have deteriorated through rusting. The other challenge observed is that the outlet tap is spoiled and water keeps on pouring out uncontrollably. However, the water users are not bothered and have not taken any plans of repairing it. When asked about the plans of repairing the tap, they indicated that the person who installed the tank died many years ago. The ferro-cement tank constructed by Amref Health Africa at Bamgulude Primary School, Butuntumla Sub-County in Luwero District, gives an example of a very poorly managed tank of this caliber. The outlet taps broke, gutters are filled up with silt, and some parts are missing. However, the community members still try all means to fetch out the little water that collects in. To get it, they climb up and draw water from the inlet hole. Joyce Nachirembe, resident of Katente village in Ibamugolode parish, Butuntumla sub-county, Luwero district, does regular cleaning of all Emma's tanks constructed by Busoga Trust in her village. She highlights how easy and empowering her job is.
I clean the tank once a year. I buy around 3 kilograms of cement. Then I get young men. I give them working tools. They then remove the top cover of the tank. I then get a ladder and go down into the tank. I then wash it thoroughly and wait for it to dry. After it dries, I close it and wait for the rain. When the rain comes, the tank is already clean.
Regardless of the technology, all rainwater harvesting facilities need proper operation and maintenance to offer the desired service effectively. case stories in here show both successes and failures from which to learn. What comes out very clear is that a community having water stress alone is no guarantee that the rainwater harvesting facility will be well maintained if provided. There is need to ensure community appreciation, ownership, and responsiveness. There is need to bridge knowledge, attitude, and practice gaps that currently exist through continuous sensitization, mobilization, and experience sharing.